Alright, y'all, it's your girl Danny. Well, I guess I ain't your girl yet. Y'all gotta start to like me first. What was I saying? Hopefully by the end of this video you'll like and subscribe and become a new follower. But if not, okay then. Alright then, sis, do your big thing. Guys, yes, I am a NASM certified personal trainer and I passed my test on the first try. That was by the grace of God, I ain't gonna lie. I know a lot of these videos that be teaching people like how to pass the test or like what's the material in the test be mad long, so I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet and get straight to it. We'll get straight to it in a second, but first we're gonna talk about my experience and then we'll get into it. Okay, cool. So I was supposed to take my test December 29th. My goal, I ain't gonna lie, my goal was to end 2023 as a certified personal trainer. And so I went in there, I booked it for 29th at like 9 a.m, 8 a.m, 1 to 2. And y'all, I got there and I was like, hey, and she was asking for my name. And then she was like, I don't seem to have you on my schedule for today. And I was like, you said what? And so she was like, yeah, come sit down and look. And we look, right? I'm nowhere to be on the schedule. So we call up customer service, we're talking to them, and they're like, yeah, it seems like somebody canceled your test. And I was like, who canceled it? Because the only person that got the authority to cancel my test is God. So unless he came and canceled it, put me back on the schedule. Well, obviously that didn't happen, and it was really a blessing in disguise that was canceled and I had to reschedule. They're like, yeah, the next availability we got is January 10th or January 11th. I was like, babe, that's not gonna work for me. Like, that's just not gonna work. So we're gonna have to figure something out. So they was like, well, you can do online. And I was not really trying to do online because I don't know, it just seems like I've had experience with proctors with online and me being like, I don't like it. But I had to do it because that was my other option. But we scheduled it for December 31st at like 11 a.m. So now I'm like, okay, I get extra time to study, because before I got into the testing center, I found this study sheet that we're gonna talk about later. I found this study sheet and I was like, ooh, I didn't even know y'all had this. And you have a 15-minute grace period after the test start to get on the test and to start your test, or else they cut you off and you can't take the test. So I'm logged in 15 minutes early. I get in there, I'm trying to connect to the proctor. The screen literally freezes. The screen freezes on me. So I'm up here like panicking. I'm calling customer service like, hey, like my test is about to start any minute now and my screen is frozen. They made me restart the whole computer and I'm like, I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm finna be like late and it's not gonna let me take my test. So after literally, I was supposed to start my test at like 11 something. It was 40 minutes that passed. So I'm like, am I gonna be able to take my test? And it was like, well, since it's technical difficulties, yeah, you'll be able to take your test. So okay, cool, we in there. Y'all, I get to question 100, my Wi-Fi goes out. Wi-Fi goes out. I'm up here panicking, crying, on the phone with customer service, irritated, and they made me restart, okay? I gotta restart this whole test. I get back on there, and by the grace of God, it picked up where it left off. One thing I did not do is go back and like second guess myself. Like I was like, okay, if I put that answer before, then we're just gonna stick with that. That's just gonna be the answer. Finished it, and like I'm sitting here, the screen is blank, and then it pops up pass. Girl, I could have cried. I could have passed out. I ain't gonna lie. It was really traumatic, for real. It was just too much. So also, what's in the test, let me just preface this with, if you're like with NASM and you're doing the like section quizzes, they word it completely different. So to me, the things on NASM was like very like beginner questions, and how they worded it was really easy. And then you get to the test and it's like complex. I'm like, what are you even talking about? It's 120 questions in 120 minutes. I have a minute. Why am I taking 40 seconds reading this question trying to figure out what you even asking me? It don't make sense. So just know the questions are gonna be asked completely different than what you are studying. Like whenever I was going through the course, y'all, like I was taking it very serious, ain't gonna lie. So I literally had bought a binder and I like got all the sections or all the chapters, and like I had notes. I was writing down anything I found important and how, like literally I was, babes, we was really we was really getting to it, right? I don't think I even really used that to study for the test though. It was just like so I can know it, and so whenever it's time to study, like I have some background knowledge. I have found a cheat sheet, and I'm gonna try to link it somewhere. I'm gonna try to link it in the little thing. I don't even know what it's called. Like, I'm gonna try to link that there. But they had a study guide on NASM, and it highlights, like, it goes over all the materials in each section, but it highlights the ones that's very important in red. And those are the things that I really honed in on and studied. And that was really what was on my test. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna tell you what was on my test. Everybody's test is gonna be different because they're not gonna just keep giving everybody the same exact test. Same exact test. Things that they hit was overactive and underactive muscles, and I really underestimated how much they was gonna have on there because, like, it was a lot. It was a big, hefty part of my test. The 5 stages of change, the SMART goals, the planes of motion, the OPT model, reciprocal inhibition, alter reciprocal inhibition, 3 energy systems. Also, if I'm pronouncing something wrong, don't talk about me. And then I had some questions on synergistic dominance, type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers, overhead assessment, and the phases of plyo training. So my advice is to click that link and study the things in red and touch bases on all the stuff that, you know, actually try to go over it, glance everything, because you don't know what's going to be on there, but study those pretty hard. And just to remember that they are going to word it completely different. It's going to be a little bit more complex because whatever, that's what they want to do. But it wasn't just absolutely horrible. I think what made it bad was my experience, like, getting into the test. So, like, if I would have had, like, smooth sailing, getting to the test and whatever and all that, I don't think it would have been so bad. It really wasn't that bad. I don't even know. I really wish they would tell us what our score was. Like, was I on the cusp of passing, or was I, like, up there, you know? But with it being 120 questions, how many can you miss? I think, if I'm doing my math right, babes, I struggle with the math area, I ain't gonna lie. I think you can miss, like, around 30 something. I think I just did my math. I don't know if I did that right. Think about it, missing 30 is a lot. Like, you have a big grace area. Like, so I think you'll be okay. Don't freak out about it. Take the early quiz. Like, if you're somebody like me and I be getting anxious, take the quiz or take the test early. Don't wait until like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. to take that test. If you don't know it by the day of the test, I don't think them extra hours of cramming it in that morning, unless that's your style and that's something that you always been good at doing, I don't think that's gonna help. Just study those materials and you'll be okay. So if we're friends now, by the end of this video, because we're wrapping it up, then could you like and subscribe? Like the video, subscribe to your girl. And again, I am on Facebook at Faith and Fitness, and then I'm on Instagram at faithandfitness.danny. I really need to shorten that up. That's mad long. Like, that is so long. Like, who's gonna be typing in at faithandfitness.danny? Y'all, please. But yes, congratulations, you're gonna do great, and I wish you the best.